So I do thank y'all for hanging in there with me. Y'all are the best subscribers ever, so thank you so much. Hey everyone, welcome back to aDashofMo, and today I'm going to be doing my week 11 and 12 medical school update along with your questions that you've had for me for about the past, I'd say about 2 weeks. So first of all, I do apologize for not making a video. I've just been so busy with school, and I got a fall break from med school, so I went home for a few days, and we'll talk about this more later, but I just took a little hiatus, but I'm back, and so now I will be answering your questions. So I do thank y'all for hanging in there with me. Y'all are the best subscribers ever, so thank you so much. I had a question through my Instagram, and if you haven't already, please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at aDashofMo, and as well as Snapchat. The question was, hey, I subscribe to your YouTube channel and I have some questions about medical school. What would you recommend majoring in for medical school? What would you recommend majoring in prep for medical school? There's not really a specific major, first of all, for medical school. I did biology because that's kind of what I thought everyone else majored in, but also that's what interested me, and I think that that really helped me to prepare for the things that I did learn in medical school. However, you can definitely succeed in medical school majoring in whatever you are interested in, as long as you finish the prerequisites for medical school in that 4-year period I would aim for. So it just depends on you and the schedule that your major has, that you would have to take the required classes along with the prerequisite classes for medical school. So just make sure that those the classes that you major, the classes that you have to take for your major don't interfere with the timeline that you need to finish or aim for in order to finish the classes you need for medical school. So the next question was what should you do, like volunteer-wise and grade-wise, to be a competitive candidate for medical school? So you should have some volunteer work. Like I've said in previous videos, if you've volunteered at a place for a number of years, like maybe 1 or 2 years, and you've been consistent, like maybe you volunteered at a hospital for about a year, but you've donated at least 2 hours of your time every week to that says more to a medical school than you having done an hour here or an hour there in various places, but it's not quite consistent, and then the people that work at that place or that are affiliated with that place that know you, and I don't think they would be able to know you in order to write a letter if that's what you're seeking. So it's better to be more consistent than to have a bunch of volunteer work that you weren't quite consistent with, like you only did an hour here, an hour there. It would say more if you did a certain volunteer program every summer, or you really dedicated your time and effort and made a commitment to a volunteer program. And also that would be a good way to get letters of recommendation if need be in the future. Also, grade-wise, to be a competitive candidate in medical school, really, you should aim to score the best GPA that you could possibly obtain. And you just need to try your hardest to be a competitive candidate in medical school. If you want exact numbers, you can go to AAMC, the AAMC website, and they have GPA and MCAT scores according to race on there. So that will give you an idea of the likelihood of getting into medical school with specific MCAT and GPA statistics. So she also goes on to say, I'm going to transfer to a 4-year college from a community community college. Do you recommend that I take my prereqs for medical school at the four-year college or at the community college? So, for taking your prerequisites, I believe it would be better to take your prerequisites at a four-year college as opposed to a community college, just for reputation's sake, as well as how prepared it would make you for medical school. So if I were in your shoes and I had to make a decision, I would definitely choose taking prerequisite classes at a four-year college as opposed to a community college. Okay, so that's the Instagram question. Thank you so much for your question. And now we're going to go on to the YouTube questions. So the first one is, would it be too personal to ask what medical school you attend? I'm a second semester freshman in college and I'm trying to get into medical school. I was wondering if you could tell me or others what your GPA and MCAT score was. I'm just curious. Also, did you do any extracurricular activities? Anything you recommend? Thanks anyways. So I can't really tell y'all what medical school I go to now, but maybe in the future I definitely will disclose that. And as far as MCAT and GPA score is concerned, honestly, I know that's like a burning question, and I think I did answer this in a previous video, but I know it's like a really burning question for a lot of pre-medical students, but really your GPA and MCAT score does not define you. It does not guarantee that you will get into a medical school. Sure, if you have a higher GPA or a high MCAT score, that will increase the likelihood that you would get into medical school, but nothing is a guarantee if you have a high MCAT and or GPA. So with that being said, I would suggest again to refer back to the AAMC's website and look at the statistics on there for like the amount of people that got in with an MCAT score and with a certain MCAT score and GPA, and that will give you a good idea of what to shoot for. So also, did I do any extracurricular activities? Anything you recommend? I would definitely recommend taking up a leadership position, volunteering, possibly getting a job or even a volunteer position that would expose you to medical related activities or the healthcare field in general. I think that would be really helpful, not only just to make sure that medical school is right for you, but also to know exactly what you're getting into and if it really does interest you. So thank you for your question. The next one is, how do you ensure that you take enough time for yourself during the day? How do you unwind after a long day/week of studying? I ensure that I take enough time for myself during the day I allow myself a break. You can't obviously study like straight and not take any breaks, or like just watch like a 20-minute episode of your favorite show or something. So it all really depends on you, and you should know yourself enough to know how much you can take and just need to know when to stop and take a break for a little bit. So I unwind by either hanging out with friends or watching Netflix. That's like a big thing of mine. That's how I unwind after a long day or week of studying. Next question is, what classes would you recommend to take in high school? I'm not quite sure that you can choose the classes that you take in high school. I know you can choose like certain electives, but if your high school does have a health professions program, I think that would be really a great opportunity for you to be exposed to the medical field in that sense. My high school, it was a magnet high school for people, for young students that knew or had an interest in being in the health being a health professional or being in the medical field. So I definitely chose that high school because I knew that I wanted to be a doctor at a young age, and I think that's kind of how I chose the classes that I had to take in high school, because we did rotations in the hospitals. And yeah, so if your high school does have a health professions program or something that immerses you in the medical field, then you should definitely take that opportunity. If you know or have an interest, that's what you want to do.